we continue clear comprehension Sampajañña Pāpa. It is the third subsection on the contemplation of the body, Kāyanupassana, where meditation teachers give instruction about the practice of meditation. They use different expression but mean the same thing. Beware of the object, be mindful of it, watch that present object, take note of it, observe it, try to see it clearly, try to know that present object clearly. All these instructions mean the same thing. They mean to keep your mind on the object and observe it closely and precisely. So you understand clear comprehension is correct understanding. 4 kinds of clear comprehension. Number 1, clear comprehension of what is beneficial or what is not. Sattaka Sampajañña. Clear comprehension of what is suitable or not. Sappaya Sampajañña. Clear comprehension of the result, Gochara Sampajañña, and clear comprehension of non-delusion, Asamoha Sampajañña. Singati Patta Jivara Dharane Sampajana Kari Hoti. That is the clear comprehension we need to apply. That is clear comprehension in wearing the robes and the use of the alms bowl. As this Mahasatipatthana discourse was given to bhikkhus, Buddha talked about clear comprehension of these 2 important aspects of monastic daily life. But his teaching on these matters can be adapted and applied to lay life, and are just as valid for lay people as for monks. In wearing the robes and handling the bowl, a monk must apply clear comprehension. Here, the purpose of picking up the bowl after putting the robes is to go out for alms. So getting food is the purpose. Whenever a monk puts his robe, he is expected to make this Pichavakana reflection. Patisankha yoniso jivaram parisevami yawadeva Sita Sabadikataya, Una Sabadikataya, Dansa Magasa, etc. That means I wear robes. I use robes for keeping out cold, for keeping out heat, for keeping out bites of insects, and just to cover myself up and not for any other purpose. If he does not remember to make the reflection every time he picks up the rope, he must make it at least once each day to remind himself of the purpose in wearing the robes. Monks wear robes not to beautify themselves, not to take pride in their robes, but just to ward off cold, heat, and insect bites, and to cover themselves. And then suitability. Suitability of the robe itself should also be considered. To one who is naturally warm bodies, fine clothing is suitable. To bhikkhus who is sensitive to heat, thin clothing is suitable. Also to one who is weak, a thin robe is unsuitable. In the olden days, robes were made of thick clothes. When that thick cloth was made into a double-layered robe, it became very heavy. If a monk wearing that robe was caught in the rain, it could become so heavy that he would have to find a pole and carry it on his shoulders. Such robes are not like those of today, which are fine and thin. Nowadays, there is a choice of thick or thin robes, but in the early days, a monk had to accept what was given. A thick or heavy robe is unsuitable for one who is weak. If one is sensitive to cold, however, a thick or double-layered robe is suitable. An old, worn-out robe is unsuitable because it is a hindrance. You have to patch it up, you have to sew it. That means having to take time away from the practice of meditation. So an old, worn-out robe which loses stitches and holes here and there is not suitable for anybody. Also troublesome are robes of silk, fine hemp, and similar materials that can arouse greed in thieves. A silk robe is expensive, and if thieves see that expensive robe, they may want to steal it. So, silk and other costly robes are not suitable for one who is living alone, especially one who is living alone in the forest. Such robes invite loss of clothing and loss of life for a monk could even be killed by thieves wanting to take his robe. Those expensive robes are unsuitable for one who lives alone in the forest. They may be all right for one living in a monastery with many other monks. Definitely not suitable is a robe acquired by unsuitable means, by wrong means of livelihood, mecha or jiva. Monks must be very careful to keep their livelihood pure. They are not to ask anything of lay people unless invited to do so, nor are they to tell fortunes and give medicine to lay people, because it could mean that a monk might want something in return. That is like doing something for payment. Even if a monk were to tell a fortune and be offered a robe by the grateful recipient, it would not be suitable for him to accept it. Such things are considered wrong means of livelihood for monks. If a robe is obtained by one of these wrong ways, it is not suitable. A robe that decreases the kusala, wholesome, and increase the bad, unwholesome, in the monk who wear it is also unsuitable. For example, when a monk puts on an expensive robe, he may have attachment to it, which means that it increases his akusala, increases his unwholesome. That robe would not be suitable for him. In this way, there are robes that are suitable and not suitable. What is clear comprehension of result? It is the non-forsaking of meditation. Here it means being mindful when making use of robes or picking up bowls and other items of use. When this practice of meditation matures, it is automatically followed by the next stage, which is clear comprehension of non-delusion insight. There is nothing called a soul that robes itself. It is only through the process of movement, born to mental activities, that the act of robing takes place. When we put on robes, there is movement in our bodies. This movement is caused by the air elements, which in turn was caused by desire to wear the robe. There is only the desire, there is only the intention to wear it, and the wearing of the robe itself. So, if you apply clear comprehension, you understand there is no soul or whatever inside. The robe has no power to think, neither does the body have that power. Neither the robe nor the body has cognizing power. The robe is not aware that it is draping the body, and the body itself is not aware that it is being draped by the robe. The body doesn't know that the robe is around it, and the robe doesn't know that it is around the body. The truth is that mere elements clothes a heap of elements. The robe is made up of 4 elements, and the body is made up of more than 4 elements. Mere elements clothes a heap of elements in the same way that a piece of cloth covers a doll. The doll doesn't know the cloth, and the cloth doesn't know that it is on the doll. So where is there room for elation on getting a fine robe, or for depression on getting one that is not fine? Whether we get a good robe or not a good robe, we are not to get elated. We are not to get depressed. Whether it is good robe or not a good robe, it is just a bundle of material elements. The commentary illustrates this with another example. Some people honor an anthill where a cobra lives, a tree shrine, and so forth, with garlands, perfumes, and incense. Other people abuse or damage these objects of reverence. Anthill and tree shrines are neither elated nor elated by good treatment, nor depressed by the bad. In the same way, there should be no elation on receiving a good robe, and no depression on getting an inferior robe. And clear comprehensions of non-delusion should be understood to precede these kinds of reflective thought. So thinking in this way is called clear comprehension of non-delusion. Whenever you put on clothes or you take off clothes, the clothes don't know about the body. They are just elements put on top of a heap of elements. There is no soul. nor any such entity involved in the acts of putting on clothes or putting on robes. And a monk's bowl is also an object for clear comprehension. When a monk has a bowl, he has food to eat, so it is a precious property. In using the bowl, clear comprehensions of purpose should be understood in terms of benefits obtainable through the actions of one who takes the bowl and walking calmly thinks, going out to beg with this, I shall get alms. Picking up the bowl has the purpose of getting alms food. When a monk goes for alms, he should not walk quickly. He goes in a dignified manner, holding this purpose in mind. Bowls like robes must be chosen for suitability. For a thin or a weak person, a heavy bowl is not suitable, and a bowl that is tied with thread and stopped in 4 or 5 places is not suitable for anybody. Bowls are made of clay or iron, and with use, cracks appear. But the monk must not throw it away as soon as the crack appears. He must mend it with thread. If the crack deepens, he must make another stop, another binding. He must make bindings or stops until there are 5. When there are 5 stops in the bowl, he can look for a new one. Otherwise, he must keep that bowl and use it. But if the bowl has many stops, many mendings, it is difficult to clean. One that has stops in 4 or 5 places and is difficult to wash is not suitable for a monk who is practicing meditation, because he must spend a long time washing it to get it clean. A bowl that is hard to wash well is not really suitable for any monk. Monks have to be very clean in this respect. Not a particle of food should remain in the bowl. In the morning, when the monk picks up the bowl and goes for alms round, if the food he receives mixed with a particle of food left from the previous day, he incurs an offense. So a monk must clean his bowl well. A bowl that is difficult to clean, difficult to wash, is not suitable bowl. Also unsuitable is a bowl that shines too brightly like robes of silk and fine hem, it is capable of inciting greed in others people. When a very well-made bowl is also well polished, it shines like a gem and is expensive. By arousing greed in thieves, that bowl might be stolen and the monk might be harmed. Such a bowl which is desirable to others is not suitable. A bowl acquired through wrong means of livelihood definitely is not suitable. Neither is a bowl by which akusala, unwholesome, increases, nor that by which kusala, wholesome, decreases. Other kinds of bowls are suitable. There is clear comprehension of suitability in taking the bowl. Practice of meditation when taking the bowl is clear comprehension of result. Here also, when practice is taking has matured, the insight knowledge arises that there is nothing that is taking the bowl. Only by the diffusion of air elements is there the taking of the bowl. The bowl cannot think, the hands cannot think. The bowl does not recognize that it is taken by the hands. The hands do not recognize that they are taking the bowl. There are just elements taking hold of a heap of elements. In picking up a bowl, there is the intention to pick it up, and there is the picking up. There are only these two things. Apart from these two things, there is nothing we can call a soul, a self, or a person, an I, or whatever. The hand does not know it has picked up the bowl, and the bowl doesn't know it has been picked up by the hand. There are just elements picking up a heap of elements. Reflecting this way is clear comprehension of non-delusion. To illustrate how monks are not to be elated or depressed when getting a good bowl or a bad bowl, the commentary gives an instructive analogy. In a refuge for the helpless, there are some unfortunate person with hands and feet cut off, the open wounds oozing with blood and pus, and filled with maggots. Seeing these miserable sufferers, some kindly people give them bandages and containers of medicine. Some of the afflicted may get thick bandages and shapeless containers. Others may get thin bandages and shapely containers, but none of the sufferers will feel elated or depressed about the kinds of bandages and containers they receive. They are not interested in containers. They are interested in getting medication as something to cover their wounds. Getting a bowl is only the purpose of getting food. Wearing robes is only for the purpose of keeping out cold, heat, and so on. There is no other purpose. Understanding this, a monk is said to have reached the clear comprehension of non-delusion with regard to wearing robes and taking vows. But the monk who regards the robe as bandages, the bowl as a medicine container, and alms food as medicine in the bowl, is one who has reached the highest clear comprehension of non-delusion. He regards the robe as bandages, the bowl as a medicine container, and alms food as medicine. There is clear comprehension of non-delusion. A meditator should practice mindfulness whenever he wears clothes or take them off, and whenever he picks up plates, bowls, or other utensils. In this way, he will gain clear comprehension of what is reality in wearing robes and taking up bowls. Then the next session in the commentary is on eating, drinking, chewing, and savoring. In the Pali text, asite, pite, kaite, saite, sambhajana kari hoti. The general word for eating also has a specialized use as the verb for consuming soft food, such as rice or milk curd. Drinking is just imbibing fluids. Chewing is used for hard foods like apples, parched grain that require biting and being broken up by the teeth. Savoring, like tasting, mainly involves the tongue and is also translated as licking. Here, this word is used for eating honey, molasses, and other foods eaten by licking. Eating, drinking, chewing, or biting, and savoring or licking are the four actions involved in eating. What is the purpose in eating? Pati Sinkayoniso, Pindapadam Padisivami, Niwadawaya, Namadaya, Namadanaya, etc. It is not for merrymaking, not for intoxication, not for beautifying the appearance, not for building up the physique. Eating is just for the sake of keeping alive and well in order to practice the teaching of the Buddha. This is the purpose in eating. It is not for pleasure, not to become strong or beautiful in order to show off. Suitability of food needs to be considered. Food is not suitable if it causes discomfort to the one who eats it. Food that makes you comfortable is suitable for you. It may be of any taste or any quality. It may be fine, bitter, sweet, or anything else. But if it causes discomfort, it is unsuitable for you. Some foods definitely are not suitable. Food that is acquired by wrong means of livelihood. Mecha ajiva is one category. There are many tricks that a monk knows to get something from you. If a monk uses some of these tricks and gets something to eat, that food is considered to be gained through wrong means of livelihood. Mecha ajiva. Sometimes a monk may not ask you for food directly, but instead may hint at something, so you feel obliged to give to him. If you want to know these tricks, you can read the Visuddhiyā. Food obtained by wrong means of livelihood is not suitable. Food by which kusala, wholesome, decreases and akusala, unwholesome, increase is not suitable. Some food may increase your akusala, unwholesome. Other food may decrease your kusala, wholesome. Such foods are not suitable. Food that does not cause the decrease of kusala, wholesome, and the increase of akusala, unwholesome, is suitable. It is clear comprehension of suitability. Clear comprehension of result arises from the application of mindfulness while eating. When we give instruction for eating meditation, we go into great detail. You may think there are too many, or that they may be the invention of modern teachers, but that is not true. The commentary says, within there is no eater called as self. As stated already, by the diffusion of the process of movement, born of mental activities only, there is the receiving of food in the bowl. By the same diffusion of the process of movement, born of mental activities, there is the descent of the hand into the bowl. So there is making of the food into suitable lumps. In the East, we eat with our hands. When we eat, we lower the hands into the bowl, pick up some rice and make it into a ball. This is how the food is made into suitable lumps. The raising of lumps from the bowl and the opening of the mouth take place because of the diffusion of the air elements. No one opens the jaws with a key. No one opens the jaw with a contrivance. Just by the diffusion of the air elements born of mental activities, this action takes place, the putting of the lump into the mouth. Then there is the pestle action of the upper row of teeth grinding and the motor work of the lower row of teeth and the tongue's activities comparable to that of the hand collecting together the material that is being crushed. Thus, that food is mixed together with the thin saliva at the end of the tongue. And it mixes with the thick saliva at the root of the tongue. The food is the mortar of the lower teeth, turned by the tongue, moistened by the saliva, and ground by the pestle of the upper teeth, is not put into the stomach by anyone with a ladle or a spoon. Just by the process of movement, it goes in. There is no one within who, having made a straw mat, is bearing each lump that goes in. Each lump stands there by way of process of movement. There is no one who, having put up an oven and having it a fire, is cooking each lump standing there. By only the process of fire elements, the lump matures. There is no one who expels each lump with a stick or pole. Just the process of movement expels the digested food. The commentary explains a great detail. That is why when we give instruction, we do give in great detail. Picking up food, taking food into the mouth, putting food into the mouth, chewing, swallowing. All these activities should be done in full awareness with mindfulness. By applying intense mindfulness to the activities of eating, yogi will come to see that there is the intention preceding each action, and there is the action itself. There is no one, no self, no I, or whatever that performs all these activities. There are only elements doing their activities with the help of air elements, earth elements, water elements, and fire elements. According to the commentaries, it is the air elements that does the taking onwards, the moving away from side to side. The earth elements does the bearing up, turning around, vaporizing, a removal of liquidity, and water elements moisten and preserves wetness. Fire elements ripens or cooks to digest the food that goes in. There are another elements, space. Space is the avenue for the entering of the food. Without it, the food cannot enter. And there is mind elements, a consciousness of an appropriate kind. Here the commentary is explaining by means of 6 elements. Yogi are familiar with 4 of them. The other 2 are space, akasa, and consciousness, vijnana. What we call a person, a man or a woman, is a bundle of these 6 elements. Earth elements, water element, fire elements, air elements, space, and consciousness. When we reach the clear comprehension of non-delusion, we reflect in this way, which involves a kind of thinking rooted in understanding. The commentary also said that clear comprehension of non-delusion should be further understood through reflection on the loathsomeness of food. The detailed exposition on the loathsomeness of food is given in Visuddhiyā. A monk should reflect on the loathsomeness of food in 10 ways. The first unpleasantness is the daily need, rain or shine, to go to the village for his food. Another is having to seek food from house to house like a beggar, and to endure the rebuff. The process of eating is itself repulsive, with the hand squeezing food into lumps to be mashed by teeth and tongue and mixed with saliva. And then after being swallowed, the food mixed with bile and other internal secretions. Once this loathsome mess enters its receptacle, the stomach, it has reached a place that has never been washed, not even once during the whole of our life. If we are 100 years old, then that place has remained unwashed for 100 years. Another reflection is by way of the undigested food in the stomach, where covered with froth and bubbles of fermentation, it becomes increasingly repulsive and filthy looking. And when it is digested, it becomes excrement and urine. The next reflection is on the consequences of eating. When the food is well digested, it produces head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, and so on, which are filthy and require continual cleaning. When it is not well digested, it causes a variety of diseases and bodily disorders. Another reflection is on the eliminations of food through the body's openings by way of excretion. It is said that food enters by one door and goes out through 9 doors. Yogi may reflect on the ways that food pollutes the body, forming sweat, earwax, nasal mucus, and so forth. Even when you pick up food to eat it, the hand gets smeared. We have to wash again and again to keep clean. And the outcome of food is great pollution. Visuddhiyā offers some verse on the subject of outflow and the oozing out. So we may continue next week, clear comprehension. We have to stop our discourse for today. May you apply clear comprehension in every activities by practicing vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the 6 senses continuously and meticulously. May all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.